Welcome to this week's version of Live Office Hours with me, Amanda Larinaga, the founder and CEO of Modern Entrepreneur. When you're learning a particular topic and maybe you're struggling with your homework or something isn't really clear, or you just need some one-on-one time or a small group time to think about and get those really specific questions answered because it wasn't covered in the class, or it wasn't really quite sure how it applied to your business, that's exactly what this time is. So whether you are a student of Local Marketing Blueprint and it's specific to, right now we're in module 4, so any of the 1 through 4 modules, or you're just in a place that you're running into something you didn't really expect or aren't really sure how to handle, this is a great place to bring it. You really just don't get the customer journey. So if you are not Local Marketing Blueprint, you might not know what we're talking about. And I am actually going to try to do some visual aids for this. So bear with me for just a minute. So the customer journey, we talk a lot about the idea of whether it's in your own business or in this case, the experience of your customer, moving into a position of being able to, you have a roadmap. There's somewhere you want to take them. So you want to take your business in this particular direction and in this way. So you want to be on the freeway, or you want to take the back roads. You want to be on a motorcycle versus on the bus. Very similarly, your customer has a similar experience. And oftentimes businesses will simply try lots of different marketing tactics. They don't have a really clear path that they've outlined and identified that not only this is the best path, it's the easiest, fastest. So just like if you're giving directions on how to get to this particular town they want to go to, and maybe recommendations of where to stop and grab food or to fill up on gas or special things they need to know, you want to do the same thing for your customers. And there's a couple reasons for this. So one is that very few businesses do this. And so you stepping in and doing this helps create that really amazing brand experience. So it's clearer. I know where to find the information. I know what's expected of me next as a consumer. And as a business, what it does is it helps shorten your sales cycle in some cases, or make very clear, sometimes another way to maybe think about this might be like a sales funnel. So thinking of a funnel that you would actually be, pouring liquid into, going into a smaller receptacle that you're starting with a lot at the beginning and a little at the end. And so in this case, when I talk about the customer journey, it's like, how are we getting the liquid into the funnel? And then once they're in the funnel, what is happening to help ensure that the liquid, keeps moving down that funnel? some visual aid. So in this case, when we're talking about the customer journey, I want you to think of it visually. It'll be most helpful if you're thinking of it like a road, right? In all reality, your customers will most likely do a little bit of this, right? They might come back over here. They might skip a step. They might end up straight over here. But for all intents and purposes, for this discussion, we want to be thinking of it like, here's where they start, here's where they end. In order to get a good customer journey mapped out, you need to know more information about your particular customers. So you'll need to have identified who your ideal customer is. What do they care about? How are they hearing about you? Where are they coming in, if that makes sense? Are they from a referral partner? Is it word of mouth? Are they on your email list? And so before you jump into the customer journey, you really need to spend some time building out your ideal customer avatar or your ideal customer. So in this case, and then what you'll do is based on that, you'll typically have anywhere between 1, maybe 3 ideal quote unquote customers that go on a particular journey. So you could have, for a particular product or particular service, it's this kind of customer. For this other kind, it's this kind of customer. And then you build a journey individually based on each customer. So in this case, we're going to say this is customer 1. And in this case, it's word of mouth is how they hear from us. So this is sort of the first stop, right? They ask, somebody tells them. So after they hear word of mouth, what is the next thing they do? So the next thing might be that they call. It might be that they look you up on the web. It could be that they stop in, right? Maybe they schedule, So what you want to be looking at from the customer journey perspective is, what is that next thing that they do? We oftentimes want to jump to where they're going to come in, right? They're going to stop in or they're going to schedule. The likelihood of that is low for a couple of reasons. Oftentimes when you're stopping in or you're scheduling, that's, you're that much closer to essentially making the sale or becoming an honest to goodness customer. And most people need a little bit more information, so they're going to do other things. So we're going to actually pull off schedule and stop in and just have call or looking you up online. So when they call, what are they calling for? So maybe they're calling for, if they have some questions, maybe they need to know your hours, location, and you'll know what these things are based on what's happening currently in your business. If they look you up on the web, it could be the exact same things, right? Maybe you're a restaurant and they want to look at your menu or your prices. Maybe they're looking for testimonials, right? There could be a number of things that this is the next step on their journey. And so that being the case, you want to be sure that you are building and putting something together at those essentially stops. Let's think of them as roadside stops, right? For your customers, so that it's, okay, so when they call or they check us out on the web, what are they looking for? Are they stopping for gas? Or do they need food? Is it a scenic byway? What is it? And how can you make sure that they're getting all of the information they need at that stop? Okay, so after they call or check you out online, what is the next thing that they do? So this might be where they do a free consult, or, helps if I can spell. This might be where they come in or schedule an appointment. There's different things that might happen at this level. And again, when these things happen, or when they hit this particular stop, what happens? What resources do you need? So not only what happens from the end user perspective of, okay, so I a free consult, but how are they scheduling? How do they pay? How do they give you an intake form. Maybe you need to collect some information. If they come in, how do they know what your hours are? Once they're there, how are they received at the front door? Is there, do they get something? Are they getting a beverage? Do they have paperwork they need to fill out? Does someone greet them? If they greet them, what do they say? If they're scheduling, how does that work? Are they coming into your office? Are you going to their office? How do you, reduce the email back and forth to get them on your calendar? Just start thinking about what are some of those, not only the tools, but they could be scripts, they could be templates, the process at that particular benchmark or stop. Okay. All right. So we may have a couple other stops. So it could be that, like I said, you'll have customers who do this, right? They do word of mouth, they skip call or web, they come right here and, stay forever. You'll have others that go here and then they have 2 or 3 other steps that they maybe want to do. Maybe they have to talk to a spouse. Maybe they need to they want to have you come out to the house and check something out. Maybe they want to see they want to look at pricing. They're going to price compare. Whatever it is, you want to start mapping those things out at each sort of stop. And the more that you can build out what this particular journey is and try to finesse it, work to finesse it, optimize it. So if maybe now your typical customer journey is 10 stops, but you could combine a couple of them, start answering questions earlier on, start getting some of that information. We do a free consult, but they have all these questions that, man, if I just put it on the website or we answered some of those questions when they called, we could reduce this time, or we could move them instead of going from here to here, maybe it's from here to here, right? So the other piece of this customer journey, so this is the linear from when they hear about you to when they become a customer, right? But there are people who diverge. So they get at some level, and again, you're going to want to look at your current or historical customers. Where do they fall off? Is it here? Maybe they fall off here. And then what happens? So did they fall off because of pricing or timing, scheduling wasn't a good fit? But more importantly, what do you do? So they've fallen off, so they're not a customer yet, but what are some essentially road stops, signs, etc., that you could create to continue and maintain a relationship with them? And the relationship could be nothing more than, let's say, last office hours, we talked about the idea of having maybe not the best fit customers, and how do you have that conversation and try to transition people if that's the case. Instead of saying, so let's say you find out in the free consult that they're not a good fit. So it's like, they're not going to work here. Instead of, sorry, it's just not going to fly. It's instead, I have some great referrals for you. And boop, over here, this for different reasons. It sounds like, some budget constraints or timing, but I want to be sure you get what you need. And here are some great referrals for you. Or maybe they get further down and they do a one-time engagement, but they're not coming back. They're not a repeat customer. What are you doing to help try to get them back in the door? And it could be that this has a couple of stops, right? Maybe you do some email marketing. Maybe you do a promotion at some level. Maybe you offer them, you downsell them into a different service. So maybe how they heard about you was for a premium level package, and they don't really have the budget for that. So instead, looking at what's a downsell or another option for them. So I hope this gives you some clarity when we talk about the customer journey. So you're looking at not only what your customers are currently doing, what you ideally would have them do. So, and then not only what you ideally would have them do, but what resources do you need to have, templates, technology to support ensuring this happens, so that One, you build a certain level of consistency for yourself when you're selling or working with a customer, that you know and they know when they go through this step, then the next step is going to look a little bit like this, and you can be preparing them for it. But also from a growth perspective, as you grow and hire staff, maybe you have a sales team, maybe your receptionist starts to help, you want consistency across your staff as much as humanly possible as well. And so that everyone knows and is looking in the same direction. And you don't have people, skipping steps or and losing some of the momentum or efficiency that you've had, and or sort of going this way and the other. So that's how I would answer the question as it relates to, I don't really get the customer journey, and help me understand it. So let's see what else we have.